a while, but I'm here to talk about this month's Sizzix Craft Box. In our May Craft Box, there is some really cool dies, paper, making essentials, things like that. If you're not familiar with our craft box, it's a monthly box that we come out with that is a great value. So you're typically getting quite a few things that if you bought them all separately would add up to quite a bit of money. But for our customers, we wanted to kind of bunch them together and give them to you at a really great price. So they're available both on Sizzix.com and Sizzix.co.uk, and you can get them right now. You'll notice throughout the month that we have different designers working on different projects to give you inspiration wherever you can, and we always want to hear what you are making and see what you are making. So make sure anytime that you're working on our craft box that you make sure to hashtag my making story on anything that you upload to any of your socials so that we can see them and possibly share them with everyone else for inspiration. I'm going to switch to an overhead camera so you can see everything that comes in the box this month, and I've got some really cute little projects I made to share with everyone today. Okay, so let's see what's in this month's craft box. I'm gonna flip this around, get all the contents out real quick. Oops. Took some of them out of their packaging already so it would make it easier to show. So in every craft box, you get a kind of a sampling of dies that we have, making essentials, paper. Typically you're gonna get about 2 to 3 die sets in there, and this month's die sets are this one, which I love, which is called Hand Drawn Alphabet, and it is a lovely little alphabet. It's nice and small. I've actually got it out of the packaging so you can get an idea of what it actually looks like. They're probably about 1 inch tall. You can cut them all at once, which is kind of nice if you know what you're going to be doing. You can actually just cut it down to the size of the letter and then run it through and just get the sentiment that you want. This one's one of my favorites, and I'm too scared of heights to actually go and do a hot air balloon, but I love hot air balloons and how vibrant and beautiful they can be. And this one is called Hot Air Balloon, and you get a large and a small hot air balloon, as well as some clouds and some layering elements, which I'm going to show you. I've got all the dies out of packaging so I can give them more of a close-up visual for you. The third die set is the rainbow slider card, and I know Jess is going to be doing a video on how to assemble this very soon, so be on the lookout for that one. It looks a little bit more intimidating than it actually is, but what I wanted to do today was kind of show you how, when I look at die sets, I look at elements and then think of unique ways that I can use those elements rather than necessarily how they're intended to be used, because obviously a rainbow slider card you can use over and over again, but I want to get more out of these elements than just a rainbow slider card. So I actually used the pieces today to make other types of cards, just so you can see the versatility of this die set. You also, in the craft box, get usually a nice sampling of our cardstock. Now we have a ton of different cardstocks out there now, but these are our assorted cardstocks, and this month, because we have a rainbow, we wanted to make sure you got those rainbow colors. So we've got hibiscus, primrose, sorbet, mango tango, banana blast, lush leaves, mermaid kiss, agave, arctic sky, bluebell, lavender dust, and I think this one's cobblestone. I always get cobblestone and Earl Grey mixed up, but it's the darker of the 2 grays that come in the assorted pack. Our cardstock is really nice. It's a nice weight, but it also has texture on one side and it's solid on the other, or smooth I should say on the other. You get these 10 sheets in a pack so you can play around with the different colors, which I love. I love the idea of you don't know what you're going to get each month, and so it adds a lot of fun to being able to come up with unique ideas and colorways each month. You also typically will get some other type of surface in the craft box. So that might be, I know we've done our stencil film before. We usually incorporate some of our opulent cardstock, we've done sculpting foam, but this month is our gold opulent cardstock. So you're gonna get one of each of the texture ways from that pack. So you've got your glitter, your pearl, your matte, your mirror, your brushed metal. You get one of each. So I think the craft box is a great way to kind of beta test if you like a surface or not, because you get a small amount of each of everything, and then you can determine if you really like it. Then you can go to our website and check out all the different colorways we offer and that same type of thing. So for example, with our opulent cardstock, we have 5 different colorways that all have the same kind of idea, where they've got 5 different textures and finishes. And so there's ivory, charcoal, silver, rose gold, and then gold, which you get this month. And then you actually need stuff to put your makes on. So you will always get a 5-pack piece of white cardstock. This is a really nice heavy white cardstock that you can put all of your makes on. So you'll get that. And then this month we incorporated 2 of our biodegradable glitters, which are stunning. This one is called Pink Fizz, and I've got one that's open right here. So you get a really kind of nice pink, red color. I feel like this is actually from our festive range. And then you're also going to get Fir Tree, which is also from the festive range, which is this really nice, bright, vibrant green. And I love using the glitters in small detail work, which I'll show you on some of the cards that I did. So one thing I want to show you before I show you the projects is the dies themselves. So I kind of showed you the hand-drawn alphabet already. It's one panel, so you can cut it all at once, or you can cut down the letters to actually get the to get them in there. And then we've got the hot air balloon. So the thing with the hot air balloon that I like is you get all of these different elements with it. So I'm gonna hold this up so you get a better visual. So you get the small and the large hot air balloon, but then you also get these layering banners, some clouds, some florals, some leaf sprigs right here, and some hearts to decorate. Now the thing that I like about the hot air balloon is it's not a guessing game of which pieces layer. All of the pieces for each hot air balloon that you want to work with are on the actual die. So when you cut out the pieces, everything you need to do to layer it up is on there. So you've got, on this for instance, I've got the actual hot air balloon as my base, I've got the basket, I've got the little ribbon above the basket, and then I've got these 2 panels to create different colors on the actual balloon itself. And all of those are on one piece, which makes it nice because it takes the guesswork out of having to decide, well, where is that piece? Where does it go? I kind of like that. And then you also, same thing with the smaller hot air balloon, you get the actual hot air balloon, the basket, the layering panel right above, and then the 2 panels for decoration on the actual balloon itself. So it's nice in that you can not have to guess what you're doing. You also get these really pretty banners that can go across the actual balloons themselves. So you can cut them out and layer these really pretty ribbons and banners across the balloons and add more colors, give it a more of a festive look. What I do like about hot air balloons is, depending on the season, you really could change out those colors and make them your work year round. I love hot air balloons. I will hopefully one day gather the courage to get on one, but today is not that day. And then the last one is the rainbow slider card, which I'm just gathering over the side right here. And with this one, you're gonna gain some kind of core pieces in order to make any size rainbow slider card that you want. So you cut down the panel that you want it to be on, and then this piece right here cuts the actual panel to create the opening for the slider portion. This is the actual slider, so it slides into here. This one creates a hole right here, or a slot, and then you would place this in and it slides up and down within that. So it's nice in that you can kind of determine where you want your slider card to go. Do you want it to go horizontally, vertically? Do you want it on the left side, the right side? You get to determine where it is. But then you also get some really fun layering elements. This piece right here cuts out the what fits in right here to create the rainbow. So you get this piece where it cuts and scores or actually it does cut the little places where you can lay the colors for the rainbow. So then you get this piece right here, which you would then lay on top, and you could cut out your individual colors to add them on and customize it in whatever colorway that you like. You get a balloon for celebration. This creates a sun, which is really nice, like sending you sunshine. You get some clouds, you get a smiley face, the balloon shape I showed you right here, but you also get the string and the layering element for that. But one thing I did is I knew I didn't want to do a slider. I wanted to do some other things using these elements, but I did like the idea of still having all of these panels. So what I did is I took this piece and I cut out probably I think I did all the colors that came in the craft box, and I cut them all out one time. Now when it is cut, you'll notice these cut lines don't go all the way to the edge, which means that it's one connected piece. So then I took scissors and trimmed them and snipped them apart so that I got 5 or 6 individual colors. This way, when I went to making, I didn't have to like sit and individually cut each one that I wanted to do. I was able to cut 10 times, get all my colors at once, and it was much quicker and easier to just snip them apart than to cut them 100 times. So that's one little trick I wanted to share with you, is if you're wanting to just use these fun layering pieces, then that is what I would do. So I want to show you some of the projects I made. So the first thing I wanted to show you of what I did with all of these lovely, well, I'm going to call them ribbon pieces, but they're part of the rainbow slider card, is I created my own background. Now, what's great about these ribbons is that you can do any colorway that you want. You can do it any direction. I could have done them horizontally, vertically. I did these ones at a diagonal, but you could also, I just want to show you quickly, you could also do them in fun little, I'm trying to think of the word, geometric patterns. So I could have them running like this and create my own unique little backgrounds. And then obviously when you trim off the edges, my card, this handle is a little too big, but you can do fun little patterns on a background and create a slimline card. You could do just a normal size card, but it just gives you this ability to create your own unique backgrounds with these ribbons. And I've actually seen them where you can do it at an angle like this and have it look like a rainbow's coming down with pot of gold right here, if you're Irish like me, or some rainbows, or a unicorn, or whatever you might have. It gives it a little bit of a whimsical flair. You can also just have them on there to create more generic everyday cards like this one. And then I used the brush alphabet, but what I did is I layered it up so that I had some of the gold opulent cardstock behind, and then I did some of the white cardstock that comes in your pack and layered it on top just so it gave it that two-tone effect. And then I used some foam tape to give it a little bit of dimension off the base of the card. Another fun way to use these ribbons is to create your own kind of patterns. So you can create your own shapes and backgrounds with them, or you can like line them up side by side so that you don't see anything below. So you can do them like this, and then you get no color below. Or you can separate them out like I did on this card, where I wanted to create a geometric pattern that did have shape behind it. So what I did with these is I layered them in basically a triangle. I found my center, and then I layered them in a triangle shape, the 4 colors one way, flipped the panel, and did them the other way. That way I got this really unique background automatically. And then, as you can see, I love a slimline card, so I used our Bluebell cardstock as the base and just created a fun little scene with the hot air balloons. But then what I did with the hot air balloons is I went in with some of our express glue, and then I put some of the glitter on some of the die cut elements just to give them a unique little detail. And then I cut the clouds out of the gold opulent cardstock just to add a little bit of shimmer to my card. Okay. Now, I've used the hot air balloon, or not the hot air balloon, but the rainbow slider in the last two to create the background. But I wanted to show another way you could create the background with the clouds. So I love a tone-on-tone card, and I knew I wanted to do a white background with these hot air balloons, but then I also wanted to incorporate the clouds, but I was kind of worried that it was going to get a little too busy. And then I was thinking, you know, what if I just did white clouds on a white background, and then I did colorful hot air balloons. So I took the clouds from both of the die sets, so the hot air balloon and the rainbow slider card, and I die cut them out, and I adhered them down in a pattern that I liked on the card panel. And then I went through and I put all of these hot air balloons together and laid them on where I wanted them on top, and then I cut away the edges so that it looks like some are flying away, some are flying in scene, and some are flying into the scene. I think this particular die set is beautiful in that you can create your own scenes, and I love creating cards that look like a scene. It's something really fun and unique that you don't often get time to do, but these hot air balloons are actually pretty simple and easy to put together, and you can create a really simplistic scene very quickly. So I did that with that one. I just pulled in, I did do some more detailing with the pink fizz on the ribbons, or I guess, I don't know if those are ribbons, but the harnesses on the bucket. I did some of the pink fizz in these little dots right here and on this banner piece as well. So you get a little bit of detailing with a nice glitter effect. And then the last one I did, I like taking small elements of a die set and just using them to create an entire card. So obviously on the last one I used quite a few elements, but my whole background was created with just these clouds. And then the previous two cards I used other elements, but my whole background was just created with those ribbons. Well, on this one, I wanted to take those floral elements and the foliage that you get and just create its own wreath. And granted, I'm using the hot air balloon, but my whole background is created by these two pieces. So I could have kept going, and I could have made it like, I could have not even had the hot air balloon in the center and just done something else like my own stamp sentiment, or another, or even like a sun right here from the rainbow slider card, or another die set that I have. But I die cut all of these, and then I actually glittered, I used the fir tree glitter on top of some of the Lush Leaves cardstock, and created just that dynamic extra element to your card with the glitter. And then I also added a little bit of the pink fizz to the banner right there. So those are just a few ways that I was inspired to use the craft box this month. I really love bold colors, especially for spring and summer. And I just like taking smaller elements from a die set and making it your own. You don't have to always use the dies as they come intended to use. I really like to create my own backgrounds with small elements. I like to use small elements to make an entire card. That way you get more versatility and more opportunity to create different types of makes when you look just at the smaller elements and all the different things you can do with it. Thanks so much for joining me. I hope that you are inspired to use those small elements in your makes. It's something that I kind of like to challenge myself and find different ways I can use different dyes, come up with new colorways that I wouldn't normally intend to do. It's really just fun to find new ways to use things that we've been using for months and want to find new ways to use. So I think the craft box is great because you can go back to previous months and pick up those dies and go, what's a new way I can use this? So be sure to check all of these out. I loved making every single one of them. It's a little bright. It's a little bright in my window today, but I definitely hope that you are inspired, that you get to make some fun spring and floral makes, and that you get to send some inspiration to family and friends in the coming months ahead. I hope you are all doing well, and take care of yourselves, and I will see you next